The alarms blared across the Viridian command center. Red lights flashed as officers rushed to their stations. On the main screen, a single dot moved slowly through the sacred boundary. It should have been impossible. No outsider had ever dared to enter Viridian holy space. "What is that?" Admiral Zekthal demanded. His blue skin had turned almost purple with shock. A young officer looked up from her screen. "Unknown vessel, sir. Nothing like we've ever seen before." Zekthal narrowed his 3 eyes. "Show me." The screen changed to reveal a sleek white ship. It was smaller than Viridian warships, but moved with a strange grace. No visible weapons could be seen, yet it radiated power. "Scans show it's from a species we've never encountered," the officer said. "Impossible," Zekthal whispered. "We know all species in this sector." "Not this one, sir. They call themselves humans." Across the stars, Captain Liam Carter stood on the bridge of the USS Defiant. The ship hummed with new energy as it glided through uncharted space. This was the Defiant's first real mission, and Carter felt proud to be its captain. "Captain, I'm getting some strange readings," said Amanda Ellis, the ship's intelligence officer. Her fingers moved quickly over her screen. "There seems to be a lot of activity ahead." Carter walked over to her station. "What kind of activity?" "Not sure yet, but it looks like ships are moving." "Many ships." Carter nodded. "Keep an eye on it. Jason, anything on communications?" Jason Reeves shook his head. His headset rested on his ear as he listened carefully. "Nothing clear, sir, but there's definitely chatter out there. Trying to translate now." "Sir?" Ellis said suddenly. "I think we've crossed into someone's territory." Carter frowned. "That's not possible. Star Command said this sector was unexplored." "Star Command was wrong," Ellis said. She pointed to her screen. "Look at these energy readings. They're artificial, and they're everywhere. This space is monitored." On the Viridian homeworld, the Imperial Council gathered quickly. The 12 members sat in a circle with Grand Counselor Vrax in the center seat. The old Viridian's tentacles twitched with worry. "How did they find the sacred path?" one counselor asked. "Could it be the prophecy?" another whispered. Vrax raised a tentacle for silence. "What we know is this. An alien ship has entered our most holy space. This has never happened in our 5,000 years of history." A military advisor stepped forward. "The vessel appears to be exploratory, not a warship. Yet it has shields and power beyond what we expected from a new species." "Have they responded to our warnings?" Vrax asked. "They don't seem to understand our signals, Grand Counselor. They keep sending their own messages. Our linguists are working to translate." Vrax stood up. "I want that ship captured intact. Alert all battle fleets. No one violates sacred space without consequences." Back on the Defiant, the atmosphere had changed. What had started as a routine exploration had turned tense. Carter watched as more dots appeared on the main screen. "Those are ships," said Gregory Simmons, the first officer. "Big ones." "How many?" Carter asked. "At least 15 that we can detect," Ellis replied. "And they're moving to surround us." Dr. Olivia Martinez entered the bridge. The ship's chief engineer looked worried. "Captain, I've boosted our shields as you asked, but without knowing what we're up against." "Do your best, Doctor," Carter said. He turned to Reeves. "Any progress on those transmissions?" Reeves nodded excitedly. "I've got something, sir. It's partial, but they're alarmed. They keep repeating a phrase that roughly translates to sacred space or holy territory." Ellis looked up. "Sir, I think we've accidentally entered some kind of religiously significant area." Carter ran a hand through his hair. "Great. First contact, and we've wandered into their church." "Sir," Kelly Brown called from the weapons station, "one of the alien ships just powered up what looks like weapon systems." "Defensive posture only," Carter ordered. "No aggressive moves." Dr. Peter Dawson rushed onto the bridge. The ship's anthropologist rarely left his lab during missions. "Captain, I've been analyzing the visual data we're receiving. These aliens, their ships have markings that match ancient religious symbols. This isn't just their territory. I think this is their holy land." Carter nodded. "Reeves, Broadcast on all frequencies. Tell them we mean no harm, that we're exploratory, only, and that we apologize for any trespass. They're not slowing down, sir, Brown warned. On the lead Viridian ship, Admiral Zekthal watched the human vessel with growing concern. Why aren't they fleeing? Don't they know they face the might of the Viridian Empire? His second-in-command looked confused. They're still sending messages, sir. They claim to be peaceful explorers. Deception, Zekthal hissed. No species explores without conquest in mind. It's against nature. Sir, they've detected our stealth ships. Zekthal froze. That's not possible. Our cloaking technology is perfect. Apparently not to them, sir. For the first time in his long career, Zekthal felt fear. What kind of species could see the unseeable? On-E. The defiant Carter made his decision. Nicole, keep tracking their ships, even the ones they think we can't see. Lieutenant Nicole Franklin nodded from the tactical station. Already on it, sir. They seem surprised we can detect them. That might be our only advantage, Carter said quietly. Ellis, what's your assessment? Ellis looked grim. Based on their movements, they're a highly organized military force. They've done this before, sir. Done what before? Surrounded and captured alien ships. A sudden flash lit up the view screen as energy burst from one of the alien vessels. It passed close to the Defiant's bow. Close enough to be noticed, not close enough to hit. Warning shot, Simmons said. Carter straightened his uniform. Well, crew, it seems we've stumbled into someone's backyard and they're not happy about it. But we represent Earth and we don't panic in the face of first contact, even unfriendly first contact. He turned to face his bridge crew. Let's show these Viridians what humans are made of. Ellis, I want everything you can find about their culture. Dawson, work with Reeves on a proper greeting. Martinez, keep those shields strong. And Brown. Yes, Captain. Let's hope we don't need your expertise today. As the Viridian ships closed, and the USS Defiant held its position, the first meeting between humans and the mighty Viridian Empire had begun, and neither side knew that the galaxy would never be the same again. The Viridian ships moved closer, their formation tight and precise. Captain Carter watched them on the main screen. His years of training had prepared him for first contact, but not like this. Any progress on those translations? Carter asked. Jason, Reeves nodded without looking up. Their language has a strange structure, but I'm getting there. They keep referring to us as defilers and trespassers. Friendly bunch, First Officer Simmons muttered. Dr. Dawson, the anthropologist, stepped forward. Captain, based on their communications, I believe we've entered something equivalent to their Holy Land. It would be like an alien ship landing at the Vatican or Mecca. Carter frowned. That explains the hostility. Options? We could retreat, Simmons suggested. Back out slowly. Lieutenant Franklin shook her head. They've blocked our exit path, sir. 3 ships behind us now. Sir, Ellis called from her station. I'm picking up energy readings from the largest vessel. They're scanning us deeply. On the Viridian flagship, Admiral Zekthal studied the scan results with growing alarm. Their hull contains materials we've never seen before. And their power source. He turned to his science officer. Is this accurate? The science officer double-checked his readings. Yes, Admiral. Their energy output exceeds our largest battle cruisers, yet their ship is only 1/5 the size. How is that possible? Zekthal demanded. Unknown, sir, but there's more. Their shields operate on principles we don't understand. Our standard penetration scans can't get through. Zekthal's third. I twitched nervously. A species with this technology level couldn't have evolved without our knowledge. They must have been hiding, preparing. His communication officer interrupted. Admiral, Grand Counselor Vrax demands an update. Zekthal moved to the communication station. The wrinkled face of Vrax appeared on screen. Report, Admiral. The alien vessel remains in place, Grand Counselor. They continue to transmit messages claiming peaceful intentions. Vrax's tentacles curled with irritation. Do they take us for fools? No one approaches the sacred space by accident. There's more, sir. Their technology is Advanced. More advanced than we expected. Vrax leaned closer to the screen. Are you saying they could be a threat to our ships? I'm saying we should proceed with caution. The Emperor himself has taken interest in this situation, Admiral. He expects results. Test their defenses, use minimal force. The screen went dark before Zekthal could reply. He turned to his weapons officer. Prepare a low-yield energy pulse. Target their propulsion systems. On the Defiant, Dr. Martinez worked frantically at her engineering station. Captain, I've modified our shields to adapt to their scanning frequencies. They won't get any more data about our systems. Good work, Carter said. He turned to Reeves. Any response to our messages? Nothing direct, sir. But their internal communications suggest they're debating what to do with us. They seem afraid. Carter raised an eyebrow. Afraid? They outnumber us 15-1. Dr. Dawson spoke up. Fear often comes from the unknown, Captain. To them, we're completely unknown. And judging by their military response, they're used to being the most advanced species around. Ellis suddenly straightened in her chair. Captain, energy spike from the lead vessel. Brace for impact, Carter ordered. A blue beam shot from the largest Viridian ship. It hit the Defiant's shields, creating ripples of energy across the barrier. The ship trembled slightly but held firm. Damage report, Carter demanded. Martinez checked her readings. Shields holding at 98%, sir. That wasn't a serious attack. More like they were testing us. Sir, Franklin said. They're watching us closely. I think they expected more damage. Carter nodded. Let's not disappoint them. Ellis, did you get good readings on that weapon? Yes, sir. It's an energy-based pulse similar to our phase cannons, but less refined. Martinez, can you make it look like we're more affected than we are? The engineer grinned. I can make our shields flicker a bit. Maybe vent some non-essential plasma. Do it, Carter ordered. Let's not show all our cards yet. In the Viridian Command Center, excitement rippled through the crew as they saw the human ship's shields waver. Their defenses are failing, the weapons officer reported eagerly. Admiral Zekthal wasn't convinced. That was too easy. Scan again. The science officer obeyed, then looked confused. Admiral, their power readings remain unchanged. If anything, they've increased slightly. As I suspected, Zekthal said. They're hiding their true capabilities. He pressed a button on his command chair. All ships maintain position but do not fire again without my order. The Grand Counselor's face appeared on screen again. Why have you ceased attack, Admiral? Believe they're baiting us, sir. They want us to reveal our weapons while hiding their own strength. Vrax looked skeptical. You give these aliens too much credit. The Emperor wants them captured now. With respect, Grand Counselor, rushing in could cost us ships. Let me try something else first. On the Defiant, Carter watched as the alien ships held their positions. They're being cautious now, Simmons observed. Good, Carter replied. That gives us time. Reeves, have you prepared a formal greeting yet? Yes, sir. Dr. Dawson helped me craft something that should acknowledge their sacred space without admitting guilt. Let's hear it. Reeves cleared his throat. People of the great vessels, we extend greetings from Earth and humanity. We regret our unintentional entry into your valued space. We come seeking knowledge, not conflict. We request communication to resolve this situation peacefully. Send it, Carter ordered. All frequencies, visual component if possible. As the message transmitted, Dr. Dawson approached the captain. Sir, I've been studying their ship markings. Their society appears highly hierarchical. The vessel that fired on us has symbols that suggest a military leader, but not the highest authority. You're saying we're not talking to the boss yet? Exactly. Somewhere, someone bigger is making the decisions, Ellis interrupted. Captain, the alien ships are repositioning. They're opening a path. On the main screen, the Viridian vessels move to form a corridor leading deeper into their territory. Are they inviting us in or escorting us out? Simmons wondered. Carter studied the formation. Neither. I think we're being invited to meet whoever's in charge. He stood up and straightened his uniform. Helm, Move forward slowly. Keep shields at maximum but power down weapons. Let's show them we understand the invitation. The Defiant moved forward carefully, passing between the rows of Viridian ships. Each alien vessel dwarfed the human ship, their hulls covered in strange symbols that glowed with internal light. "Sir," Ellis said quietly, "long-range sensors detect a much larger vessel ahead. It's at least 3 times the size of these escorts." Carter nodded. "Looks like we're about to meet the boss after all." As the massive ship came into view, even the experienced bridge crew fell silent. It gleamed like polished obsidian, covered in complex patterns of light and symbol. At its center, a great dome pulsed with energy. "Dr. Dawson," Carter said, "I hope you've got some cultural insights ready. I think we're about to need them." The anthropologist stared at the screen. "Captain, based on those markings, I believe we're about to meet the Emperor of the Viridian Empire." The massive Imperial ship loomed ahead of the Defiant. Its black surface seemed to swallow light rather than reflect it. Carter felt a chill as they approached. "All stop," he ordered. The Defiant halted at a respectful distance from the enormous vessel. "Sir, we're being hailed," Reeves announced. "Visual transmission," Carter nodded. On screen, the main screen flickered, then revealed a Viridian unlike the others they had seen. This one's skin was pale lavender, with elaborate markings etched across the face. 3 large eyes blinked in unison. Gold ornaments hung from elongated ears. When it spoke, the universal translator struggled to keep up. "I am Emperor Zanvos of the Viridian Empire, ruler of the 7 sectors, keeper of the sacred flame. You have trespassed on holy space. Explain yourselves." Carter stepped forward. "I am Captain Liam Carter of the Earth vessel Defiant. Our presence here was unintentional. We are explorers mapping uncharted space." The Emperor's middle eye narrowed. "Uncharted? This territory has belonged to the Viridian Empire for 5,000 years. With respect, Emperor, our star charts showed this region as unexplored. We had no knowledge of your empire before today." This statement caused visible shock among the Viridians visible on screen. The Emperor himself seemed to stiffen. "Impossible," he said. "All species know of the Viridian Empire. All pay tribute." Dr. Dawson whispered to Carter, "Sir, I think their culture assumes universal dominance. The idea of a species that doesn't know about them might be more shocking than our trespass." Carter nodded slightly. "Emperor Zanvos, humanity has only recently developed faster than light travel. Our exploration has been limited to our own star system until recently. We genuinely had no knowledge of your civilization." The Emperor turned to speak with advisors off-screen. The transmission muted, but the video continued. Carter could see animated discussion taking place. "They're not sure what to make of us," Simmons observed. Ellis spoke up from her station. "Captain, I'm detecting energy buildup in their ship. I think they're scanning us again, but it's much more powerful this time." Martinez frowned at her readings. "They're trying to penetrate our shields with some kind of high-energy beam. I can block it, but they'll know I'm doing it." "Let them. Scan the outer hull but nothing deeper," Carter decided. "Show them we're being cooperative up to a point." The Emperor's face returned to full screen. The audio restored. "Your vessel's technology is unexpected. You claim to be new to space travel, yet your ship possesses advanced systems." "We may be new to the stars, Emperor, but humans advance quickly." The Emperor made a gesture, and a different image appeared. On screen, it showed Earth, a perfect blue-green sphere. "Is this your homeworld?" the Emperor asked. Carter tried not to show his surprise. "Yes. How did you obtain this image?" "We have been watching the edges of our territory for new species. Your world was discovered recently by our long-range probes. We were preparing first contact on our terms." The bridge crew exchanged glances. The Viridians had found Earth and were planning to approach them. "I see," Carter said carefully. "Then perhaps this accidental meeting is fortunate. It allows us to establish relations as equals." The word equals caused visible distress among the Viridians. The Emperor's facial markings flushed darker. The Viridian Empire has no equals, he stated flatly. All other species acknowledge our superiority or face consequences. Carter felt the situation slipping away from him. He needed to find common ground quickly. Emperor, surely a civilization as advanced as yours values knowledge. We can offer new perspectives, new ideas. An exchange of information would benefit both our peoples. Before the Emperor could respond, alarms sounded on both ships. Ellis turned to Carter with urgency. Sir, something's approaching fast. Not Viridian. Completely different energy signature. On the screen, the Emperor was receiving similar news from his advisors. His expression changed to one of genuine alarm. Impossible, he whispered. They were destroyed centuries ago. The transmission cut abruptly. The main screen returned to showing the Imperial ship, which was now turning away from the Defiant. What's happening? Carter demanded. 3 ships just dropped out of faster-than-light travel, Franklin reported from Tactical. Design unknown. They're positioning themselves between us and the Viridians. Are they hostile? They've powered weapons, but they're aimed at the Viridians, not us. A new transmission came through. Reeves put it on screen without waiting for orders. The being that appeared looked nothing like the Viridians. It had green-gold skin and 4 eyes arranged in a diamond pattern. Its mouth was wide and lipless. Human vessel, this is Kren of the Kelvari Resistance. You are in danger. The Viridians will destroy you once they decide you are a threat. And they always decide new species are threats. Carter studied the alien carefully. I'm Captain Carter. Who are the Kelvari? We once controlled this sector before the Viridians came. They nearly wiped us out, claiming this was their sacred space by divine right. A few of us survived, hiding in the very regions they consider too holy to visit. Ellis spoke up. Sir, the Viridians are powering weapons. They're targeting the Kelvari ships. Kren, the Viridians are preparing to fire on you, Carter warned, as expected. Captain, you must make a choice now. The Viridians conquered 100 species by following the same pattern. First contact, claims of sacred territory, then demands for submission. Those who refuse are eliminated. Carter looked to Dr. Dawson, who nodded grimly. The patterns in their ship designs and communications are consistent with a highly expansionist culture. It's entirely possible they're following a standard first contact protocol that ends with conquest. A new transmission broke through. Emperor Zanvos appeared, his face now hard with anger. Captain Carter, the Kelvari are terrorists and blasphemers. Allying with them will make you our enemy. Reject their communication and withdraw from this situation. Carter held up a hand. Emperor, I'm not taking sides. I'm trying to understand what's happening. There is nothing to understand. The Kelvari violated sacred space generations ago. They paid the price. Now they seek to turn you against us. The screen split to show Kren as well. We didn't violate anything. The Viridians declared our ancestral home sacred after discovering our resources. It was an excuse for genocide. The situation was spiraling out of control. Carter needed time to think. Both of you, stand down your weapons, he ordered. The Defiant will not participate in your conflict until we understand it better. There is no neutral position here, human, the Emperor said coldly. Either you submit to Viridian authority, or you are an enemy of the Empire. Kren's 4 eyes blinked in sequence. And now you see their true nature, Captain. Every species faces this exact choice eventually. Carter looked at his bridge crew. Each face showed concern but also determination. They had trained for first contact but not for being caught between 2 alien powers on the brink of battle. Sir, Ellis said quietly, the Viridian fleet is moving into attack formation. They're targeting both us and the Kelvari ships. Carter stood tall. Emperor Zanvos, we came in peace and we maintain that position, but the Defiant will defend itself if attacked. You have made your choice then, the Emperor said. The transmission cut off. Red alert, Carter ordered. Shields at maximum. Prepare evasive maneuvers. As klaxons sounded through the ship, the Viridian fleet began to move. The first shots of battle were moments away. The first Viridian shot streaked across space. Bright blue energy beams aimed at the Kelvari ships. The smaller green vessels moved with surprising speed, avoiding most of the attack. What hits they did take seemed to be absorbed by their hulls. "They're using some kind of energy-absorbing technology," Ellis observed. Carter watched the battle unfold. "What about us? Are any Viridian ships targeting the Defiant?" "Two destroyers breaking formation," Franklin reported. "They're moving to flank us." Carter made his decision. "Helm, evasive pattern Delta. Keep us mobile, but don't fire unless fired upon." The Defiant moved gracefully despite its size, sliding between streams of Viridian weapons fire. On the main screen, the Kelvari ships were returning fire now, their weapons releasing pulses of green energy that seemed to disrupt the Viridian shields rather than trying to break through them. "Clever," Martinez said from engineering. "They're using the Viridian's shield frequency against them." A direct hit rocked the Defiant. Warning lights flashed across several stations, shields holding at 82%, Martinez reported. "That was their heavy cruiser." Carter gripped the arms of his chair. "Mr. Reeves, open a channel to Kren." The Kelvari leader appeared on screen, his ship's bridge filled with activity behind him. "Captain Carter, I see you've made your decision by default. The Viridians rarely allow neutrality." "We haven't chosen sides," Carter insisted. "But we will defend ourselves. What can you tell us about their weapons systems?" "They rely on energy-based weapons that overload shield systems. Your best defense is movement. Their targeting systems struggle with unpredictable patterns." Another hit shook the ship. Franklin called out. "Direct hit from one of their destroyers. They're focusing fire now." Carter turned to his tactical officer. "Target their weapon systems only, minimal force." The Defiant fired for the first time, precise phaser beams striking the nearest Viridian destroyer. The alien ship's main weapon array exploded in a shower of sparks. On the Viridian command ship, Emperor Zanvos watched in shock as the human vessel disabled one of his destroyers with a single shot. "Impossible," he whispered. "Their weapons. Technology." Admiral Zekthal stood beside his Emperor, equally stunned. "The destroyer reports all weapons offline. One hit, perfectly targeted." "They've been hiding their true capabilities," the Emperor realized. "This was a trap all along." "Sire," Zekthal suggested, "perhaps we should reconsider this engagement." "Retreat? Before these primitives and terrorists?" The Emperor's face darkened with rage. "No. Bring the sacred weapon online." Zekthal paled. "The Purifier. But sire, we've never used it in actual combat. The tests were inconclusive. I will not be humiliated. Do it." Back on the Defiant, Ellis called out from her station. "Captain, I'm detecting a massive power buildup in the Emperor's ship. It's like nothing I've seen before." The main screen showed the Imperial vessel's dome beginning to glow with increasing intensity. The Kelvari ships immediately began retreating from it. "Captain," Kren's voice came through urgently. "They're activating the Purifier. It can destroy everything within its range. Ships, planets, even stars." "That's impossible," Martinez said. "The Viridians discovered an ancient technology in this sector. The real reason they declared it sacred. They've been trying to weaponize it for centuries." Carter didn't hesitate. "All power to engines, get us out of range." The Defiant turned and accelerated away from the Imperial ship. The Viridian fleet seemed content to let them flee, focusing their attention on the retreating Kelvari vessels. "Sir," Ellis said, "at the rate that weapon is charging, its range will include us before we can escape." Carter hit his comm button. "Martinez, I need options." The engineer's voice came back strained. "Our shields won't hold against whatever that is. But there might be another way. The new deflector array. We could try to disrupt their power systems." "Do it." Martinez appeared on the bridge moments later, carrying a portable engineering kit. "We'll need to reconfigure the main deflector to emit an inverse tachyon pulse. It might disrupt their energy matrix." "Might?" Simmons questioned. "It's experimental," Martinez admitted. "We were saving it for scientific research, not weapons." Carter nodded. "Make it happen." As Martinez worked, the Viridian weapon continued, charging. Its glow had become painful to look at even on the view screen. 30 seconds to full charge, Ellis warned. Kren's ship pulled alongside the Defiant. Captain, we've seen this weapon tested. Nothing survives. We're working on something, Carter assured him. Can your ships help us create a disruption field? Yes, but then coordinate with my engineer. Now. Martinez looked up from her work. Almost there, Captain, but we'll need more power than we can generate. Kren's voice responded, We can help with that. Kelvari's ships are essentially living energy, converters. We can channel power to your vessel. Do it, Carter ordered. Green energy beams connected the 3 Kelvari ships to the Defiant. The ship's lights dimmed momentarily, then brightened beyond normal levels. Power levels at 200% and climbing, Martinez reported, her voice tinged with awe. Deflector modifications complete. The main screen showed the Imperial vessel now surrounded by a sphere of white energy. The smaller Viridian ships were retreating from their own weapon. Target their energy matrix, Carter ordered. Fire when ready. The Defiant's deflector dish glowed blue, then released a pulse of energy unlike anything the crew had seen before. It cut through space like a spear, striking the heart of the Viridian weapon just as it reached full charge. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the white sphere began to flicker and distort. On the Imperial ship, alarms blared. The containment field is failing, a Viridian officer reported frantically. The purifier is destabilizing. Emperor Zanvos stared in disbelief. Shut it down. We can't, sire. The human weapon has disrupted the control systems. The Emperor turned to Admiral Sekthal. Abandon ship now. Back on the Defiant, Ellis reported. The Viridian command ship is evacuating. Escape pods launching. What about the weapon? Carter asked. Still building, but the energy pattern is chaotic now. It's going to... A blinding flash filled the view screen. When it cleared, the Imperial vessel was gone, replaced by swirling debris and energy. All hands brace for shockwave, Carter ordered. The wave hit moments later, tossing the Defiant like a toy. Crew members held onto their stations as the ship rolled and bucked. Shields down to 15%, Martinez reported. Hull integrity holding. As the chaos subsided, Carter surveyed his bridge. Stations were damaged, crew members injured, but they were alive. Status of the Viridian fleet? Franklin checked her readings. Scattered. Some ships damaged, but most survived. They're regrouping at a distance. And the Kelvari? All 3 ships operational. They weathered the blast better than we did. Kren's face appeared on screen. Captain Carter, you've done the impossible. You've destroyed their most powerful weapon and survived. At what cost? Carter asked. How many Viridians died in that explosion? Fewer than you might think. Their evacuation procedures are efficient, but you've done more than save our ships today. You've shattered the myth of Viridian invincibility. Ellis looked up from her station. Sir, we're being hailed. It's Admiral Sekthal. Carter nodded. On screen, the Admiral appeared, his uniform damaged, his third eye half closed in pain. Captain Carter, he said, his voice solemn. The Emperor is dead. His pod was too close to the explosion. A heavy silence fell over the bridge. I regret the loss of life, Carter said finally. As acting leader of the Viridian forces, I offer temporary cessation of hostilities. This situation has developed beyond our expectations. Carter glanced at Dr. Dawson, who nodded encouragingly. We accept your offer, Admiral. Perhaps now we can talk as equals. For the first time, the Viridian didn't object to the term. He simply nodded and ended the transmission. Carter looked around at his weary crew. We came to explore, and instead we've changed the balance of power in this sector. Let's hope it's for the better. As the Defiant system slowly recovered, the human crew found themselves in an unexpected position. Mediators between 2 ancient enemies and representatives of a species that neither alien power could have anticipated. 3 days after the battle, the Defiant floated in neutral space between Viridian and Kelvari territories. Captain Carter stood in the ship's conference room, looking out at the stars. The room had been prepared for the most important diplomatic meeting in human history. "How are repairs coming?" Carter asked as Martinez entered the room. "We've restored shields to 60%, Captain. Weapon systems are back online, but the warp drive still needs work." Carter nodded. "Let's hope we don't need either for this meeting." The door opened again and First Officer Simmons entered with Dr. Dawson. "The Viridian shuttle has docked in Bay 1, Simmons reported. "The Kelvari are approaching Bay 2. "Remember," Dawson said, "both species have deep cultural differences. The fact that they've agreed to meet at all is remarkable." Carter straightened his uniform. "Well, they're not meeting because they want to. They're meeting because they have to. The balance of power has shifted." Ellis entered the room next. "Captain, our long-range communication with Earth was successful. Star Command acknowledges our situation and is sending a diplomatic team, but they're 3 weeks away at maximum warp." "We're on our own until then," Carter said. "Let's make the most of it." The doors opened once more. Admiral Zekthal entered with 2 Viridian guards. Their once perfect uniforms were now simpler, the elaborate decorations removed. Behind them came Kren with 2 Kelvari companions, their 4 eyes constantly moving, watching the Viridians with obvious distrust. "Welcome aboard the Defiant," Carter said. "Please be seated." The aliens took positions on opposite sides of the conference table. Carter sat at the head, with Simmons, and Dawson flanking him. "This meeting is unprecedented," Zekthal began. "Never before has the Viridian Empire negotiated as equals with—" He paused, clearly struggling with the concept. "With the species you nearly destroyed?" Kren finished, his wide mouth set in a grim line. Carter raised a hand. "We're here to find a path forward, not revisit old grievances." "Old?" Kren's 4 eyes blinked in sequence. "The Viridian campaign against my people has continued for generations. Even now they occupy our homeworld." Zekthal's 3rd eye narrowed. "Your homeworld lies in sacred space." "So you claimed after discovering our mineral resources," Kren shot. Back Carter could see the meeting derailing already. "Gentlemen, my ship sits in space that both of you claim. We have no stake in your historical conflict, but we do have an interest in peaceful relations with both your peoples." "The Viridian Empire does not need peace," Zekthal said stiffly. "We need respect for our traditions and sacred spaces." "Traditions of conquest," Kren muttered. Carter tried a different approach. "Admiral, your empire has suffered a significant loss. Your emperor is dead, your greatest weapon destroyed. The myth of Viridian invincibility has been broken. You can continue fighting on multiple fronts, or you can adapt." The Admiral was silent for a long moment. "What would you suggest, Captain?" "A neutral zone," Carter said. "A buffer between your territories where neither side may place military assets. The Defiant will patrol this zone until a formal treaty can be established." "And why would we trust humans to be neutral?" Zekthal asked. "Because we've proven we can stand against either of you if needed," Carter said simply. "And because we have no interest in your territories or resources. We genuinely are explorers, Admiral." Dawson spoke up. "If I may, Captain. Both your cultures have rich histories worth preserving. The Viridian religious traditions, the Kelvari connection to their ancestral spaces. Surely there's room in this sector for both." Kren leaned forward. "The largest Kelvari colonies were on 3 main worlds. We ask for their return." "Those worlds lie in sacred space," Zekthal objected, but with less conviction than before. Carter saw an opening. "Admiral, what makes those worlds sacred specifically?" The Admiral hesitated. "The ancient texts speak of the forerunners who blessed those worlds with their presence." "And who were these forerunners?" Carter pressed. "The first spacefaring race in this sector. They vanished millennia ago, leaving only their technology behind." Kren's eyes widened. "Technology like the purifier weapon?" Zekthal nodded reluctantly. "Yes, we discovered their artifacts throughout this region. That is why it became sacred to us." Dawson leaned forward. His anthropologist's interest piqued. "Admiral, Is it possible that the Kelvari are descendants of these forerunners? That might explain their natural affinity for energy manipulation we witnessed during the battle. The suggestion hung in the air. The Viridians looked at the Kelvari with new eyes. Our oldest stories do speak of a time when we could travel between stars without ships, Kren said slowly. We thought they were just myths. Then the sacred space truly is your ancestral home, Dawson concluded. Sekthal seemed troubled by this possibility. If this is true, our entire understanding of the sacred texts could be reinterpreted, Carter suggested. Not abandoned, but enriched with new meaning. The Admiral was silent for a long time. Finally, he spoke. The death of the Emperor allows for reconsideration of certain policies. Perhaps the 3 colony worlds could be returned to Kelvari control, with proper respect for any sacred sites. Kren looked surprised. That would be acceptable if the Viridian military withdraws completely. And the rest of the sector, Carter asked, could remain under Viridian protection, Kren conceded, with guaranteed safe passage for Kelvari ships. The first steps toward peace were small but significant. For the next several hours, the 3 leaders worked through details of the arrangement. By the time they finished, a framework for lasting peace had emerged. As the aliens prepared to leave, Sekthal approached Carter privately. You have changed everything, Captain. Some in the Empire will resist these changes. Change is difficult, Carter agreed, but necessary for growth. The next Viridian Emperor may not be as flexible as I have been today. Then make sure the benefits of peace are clear before a new emperor is chosen, Carter suggested. After the alien delegations departed, Carter stood again at the window, watching their ships return to their respective territories. Did we do the right thing? He asked as Simmons joined him. We prevented a war, saved 2 species from destroying each other. I'd call that a good day's work. Carter smiled. And humanity has made its first official allies in space. And its first potential enemies, Simmons reminded him. Not everyone in the Viridian Empire will welcome these changes. True, but we've shown what humans can do when pushed. Carter turned away from the window. Set course for the neutral zone. We have patrolling to do until Star Command arrives. As the Defiant moved into position between the 2 ancient civilizations. Its crew reflected on how quickly everything had changed. They had arrived as unknown explorers and were now peacekeepers between interstellar powers. Word would spread quickly through this sector of space. Humans had arrived on the galactic stage, not as conquerors or subjects, but as a force for balance. Other alien civilizations would soon take notice. On the Viridian homeworld, the news was spreading. A small ship from an unknown world had challenged the mighty empire and survived. The myth of Viridian superiority had been broken forever. In hidden Kelvari outposts, a different story was told. After generations of hiding, they had found allies who helped them reclaim their ancestral homes. And on the Defiant, Captain Carter recorded in his log, first contact has been established with 2 advanced civilizations. Though our arrival caused panic in the Viridian Empire, it may have ultimately created the conditions for peace. As we prepare to welcome Earth's diplomatic team, I can report that humanity's first major step into the galactic community, while turbulent, has been successful. The stars are vast and we have much more to explore. The ship continued its patrol, a small vessel from a distant planet, now at the center of a changing sector of space.